B'Shem Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. Picking up where we left off last time, smack in the middle of Halachot Netilat Yadayim of the morning time. So now, question comes up when a person sleeps during the day. We said, we had quite a bit of time discussing the subject of taking a nap during the day a few times ago. Whether a person should even take a nap during the day. We're not going to go back to it, but let's just say that you're taking a nap during the day because you need strength to go on, or you need koach to learn more during the day for whatever good reason. When a person sleeps during the day, there's a safek. There's a doubt whether you actually need to pour water on your hands 3 times like we do when we wake up in the morning. Because we mentioned before, there's different reasons why we have Netilat Yadayim in the morning. Either it's because of ruach ra'ah, which is bad vibes, this impure spirit that resides on a person's body and hands, especially the hands in the morning, because of sleeping at night. Because according to the Zohar, a person is considered 1/60th dead. It's partially dead at night. Therefore, when we wake up, this ruach ra'ah, this impure spirit, is still in our hands. Interestingly enough, it's only on the hands, actually on the fingertips. Therefore, we said before, but the evidence, if a person washes only their fingertips, they're also yotzeh. That's how we washed on Yom Kippur and on Tisha B'Av, right? Interesting part about it is, even today, when you talk about germs and the transfer of germs, it's been found that the hands have the most amount of germs. There was actually a commercial I watched. I didn't watch the commercial, I watched it. It was like an ad or something. I don't remember where someone sent it to me. It was quite interesting about people washing their hands, being careful to wash your hands. It showed people meeting each other at the office or whatever, kissing, right? It was like very weird. Everyone just met each other like Persians, just kissing, no shaking hands, right? And then in the bottom it said, believe it or not, there's less germs transferred when you kiss each other than when you actually shake hands. There's more germs on your hands. It's crazy, but that's what science has found. There's a lot of germs on the hands. So according to Kabbalah as well, this ruach ra'ah, at the end, when you wake up and this spirit of impurity leaves your body, there is still a residue of it on your fingertips. Right? That's where it ends. That's why we wash our hands in the morning, Netilat Yadayim. So now, when we wake up during the day, let's say you took a nap, you were tired. Is there a ruach ra'ah or not? So we said there's two reasons. According to Chachamim, there is this machloket why we actually wash our hands in the morning. One is because of the ruach ra'ah, and the other is because your hands could be touching parts of your body. It's dirty. You need to do Netilat Yadayim. Why? Because the Rashba held that just like the Kohanim in the morning before serving Hashem, they wash their hands. You're waking up in the morning, you're going to go serve Hashem, you're not going to go with those hands, so you have to mekadesh your body. You have to holify your hands and your body. So, which reason is it? If you say we're only washing because a person's hands are askaniot, which means they go all over the place, they could touch parts of your body, so that depends. Does that only happen at night? Or does that happen during a nap also? Or, also it depends on how long have you slept. Maybe if you sleep for 15 minutes, your hands don't really go anywhere. Especially if you're, taking a nap on your chair or whatever. These are the things that we have to discuss. Do you need to wash your hands after taking a nap? Or do you not? Because there's a safek, whether you actually need to wash your hands or not, when you wake up from a nap during the day, a person should do Netilat Yadayim without a bracha. You should still do a Netilat Yadayim because we don't know. We don't know if you actually need it or not. Because there's this effect. The Chachamim, there's different opinions of why we actually do Netilat Yadayim in the morning. So now, if it's because of ruach ra'ah, then there's a possibility there's no ruach ra'ah when you take a nap during the day. Because according to Zohar, that only comes either, number one, when you fall asleep at night, or when night passes over you, whether you're awake or asleep. That's a safek also. So therefore, during the day, you take a nap. If you take a nap, you wash your hands without a bracha. וגם כשנוטל ידיו מפני הספק, ייטול ג' פעמים. And you do it the same exact way. Even though it's a safek, you still do it three on each hand, which means 6 times. Skipping, let's call it the skipping pattern, right? The netila for bread is not the non-skipping pattern. וכל זה דווקא אם ישן שיטין nishmi or nashmi. This is all when a person sleeps 60 breaths at least. So now this is the question here. What is this shitin nishmi that is being discussed? It's brought down in the Gemara. What are we really talking about? They say that David HaMelech, that's how he used to sleep. Like lahavdil like a horse. A horse doesn't sleep that much. So now, it's the minimum amount of sleep. By minimum, I don't mean the minimum that's given by doctors today, which is 8 hours. I mean minimum. Now, there's different opinions. So now, let's go to the opinions. So now, let's finish the halacha. Aval bepachot mizeh, but if you sleep less than that, whatever that measurement is, and ruach ra shora ala al yadav afilu balayla. If you sleep less than this measurement, even if you sleep at night, you won't have ruach ra'ah. Less than that measurement. So whether you're sleeping during the day or at night, if you're sleeping less than this amount, you don't have ruach ra'ah. So there's no netilat yadayim even at night. Right? There are those that say it's 3 hours. That's what the measurement is. The amount is 3 hours. There are those that say it's actually 3 minutos. 3 minutes, right? And then there are those that say it's chatzi sha'ah, half an hour. So you got 3 hours, 3 minutes, and half an hour. And then there is also another da'ah that holds that it's actually 6 hours, right? So you have all these different opinions of how long this short amount of sleep is. The Bet Yosef in the Shulchan Aruch says that according to the Shita of the Rashba that we said, we said the Rashba holds that we wash our hands in the morning because a person becomes a new creation. You become a new creation, therefore you don't really have this reason by a person that takes a nap during the day. You're not becoming a new creation taking a nap, right? Even if you sleep 5 hours, you take a nap, a 5-hour nap, if you go according to this da'ah of the Rashba, which says the reason we do Netilat Yadayim in the morning when we wake up is because we are a new creation, you don't have this during the day, no matter how much you sleep, because a day's sleep, you don't become a new creation. It's a daytime nap, right? But according to the reasoning that we said, maybe he's touching different places of his body. So if we say the reason for doing Netilat Yadayim is because a person might be touching parts of his body while he's asleep, then even you take a nap, you should wash your hands, because that could happen even when you take a nap. And if you go according to the reasoning of the Ruach Ra'ah, this impure spirit, then you have a safek. Does night really bring that Ruach HaTum'ah, that impure spirit, or sleep? Which one does it? Is it sleep that gives you that Ruach Ra'ah, or is it nighttime, or nighttime sleep? Which one is it? So the Bet Yosef says, there's a whole long tshuva on this on the Bet Yosef. Katav HaRamah, the Ramah says, the Ramah holds, the Haggah holds that you should just wash Netilat Yadayim so that you don't have any safek. Do Netilat Yadayim without a bracha. And the Khatam Sofer Chelek Aleph also says, anybody that sleeps even during the day, he should do Netilat Yadayim. And the Mishnah Berurah also brings that when a person sleeps during the day, that Ruach Ra'ah, that evil spirit, even during daytime. That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. Mishnah Berurah says even daytime can bring that Ruach Ra'ah. So you do Netilat Yadayim. But, he says, if a person sleeps like a permanent type of sleep, not a little nap, what is a permanent type of sleep? What is a Shenat Keva? Actual sleep. Not just putting your head down on your desk or on your chair. Actual sleep. But everybody agrees that when you sleep during the day, you definitely do not make the bracha of al netilat yadayim. That everybody agrees, because it definitely is a safek, whether you need that or not. So now what is called shenat keva? What is called that permanent type of sleep? So we take the in-between da'ah, which is chatzi sha'a, half an hour, right? That's the medium part of the halacha, which means basically, because it's a safek, we go by the middle ground. You sleep half an hour, you're going to be yotze all day out pretty much, right? Not too little, not too much. It's in the middle. It's not 3 minutes, it's not 6 hours, right? It's not 3 hours. Half an hour. So you sleep half an hour, you definitely need to do netilat yadayim. Now, at night, here's the difference. At night, if you sleep half an hour, depends where you sleep half an hour. If you sleep half an hour in your bed, you definitely need netilat yadayim, because you went to bed. Over half an hour, that's called shenat keva. You tried to sleep. You went to bed for the reason to actually sleep. But if at night you just fall asleep on your chair or you take a nap on your thing for a half an hour, that's shenat aray. That's called a non-permanent type of just a little tiny nap. וכן כתב בספר דברי החכמים בשם הגאון Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky also says, Shem yashel al mitato zehu nikra shenat keva. If a person goes to bed, it's called shenat keva. That's a permanent sleep. Period. Aval im yashen al yadav or al shulchan mekadome. But if he sleeps on his hands or on the table, ze chashuv shenat aray. This is called non-permanent. That's just a little nap. So according to us, what do we say? We take the middle route. If a person sleeps during the day half an hour, he has to wash his hands. But if you sleep less than half an hour, even if you go to bed, you don't need to wash your hands at netilat yadayim. Claro? See? Okay. Then we go to the next halacha. Person should not take netilat yadayim of the morning from a non-Jew. Shouldn't have a Gentile pouring netilat yadayim on your hands in the morning. Or, if let's say you have like an assistant that's a non-Jew. Or even if someone has not done netilat yadayim themselves yet, you can't have them do netilat yadayim for you until they wash their hands. This is only talking when the person is actually pouring the water on your hands. But however, just to bring him the water for him to be able to wash his hands, that's fine. It's just you shouldn't take netilat yadayim from someone that hasn't washed hands, means they shouldn't be washing your hands for you unless they've washed already. Even a child that has yet to wash his hands in the morning or her hands should not wash your hands for you until they do netilat yadayim themselves. Even for children, you should be careful when it comes to netilat yadayim of the morning time. So, you have kids, you have to be careful that in the morning you should wash their hands. So far, that even it says, even 3-year-olds, even though there's no chinuch there yet, this is not where you're not teaching the 3-year-old, 2-year-old to do netilat yadayim. They don't know what you're doing, right? But as far as this ruach ra'ah, it gives them a certain kedusha of their body when they're washing hands, because even when they sleep, there's a ruach ra'ah for them too. So if you can, obviously if it doesn't bother the baby, you wash their hands in the morning. It brings a kedusha on the child. Shacharit. This is all for netilat yadayim of shacharit. But other netilas that you do during the day, even for bread, you could have someone that has not washed their hands yet wash your hands for you. That's fine. We're only talking about the netilat yadayim of the morning. But you have to just be careful if the person that is washing your hands, let's say you want to have a meal, and people are washing their hands, and someone is coming to wash your hands for you, even though they haven't washed their hands yet, it's fine. But you have to be careful that their hands or your hands don't touch that person. Because once you've washed, if you touch that person's hands, there's tum'ah again. Then you have to rewash your hands. ואשתו שאינה טהורה מותר לה להכין לבעלה את המים, אך אסור לה לפתוח הברז כשידיו תחת הברז. But if a person's wife is in her time of impurity of the month, then she cannot wash his hands for him. She can fill up the cup. This is all in the halachot of taharat hamishpacha, family purity. She could fill up the cup, but she can't open the sink on his hands or pour water on his hands. Okay, but if she opens the faucet of the water, and then afterwards you go and put your hands, let's say you want to just regular wash, right? She opens the faucet, and then later, afterwards, you go and put your hands under it. That's fine, according to the Sephardim. Ashkenazim, they're more machmir when it comes to this, right? But you shouldn't put your hands on the bed and go, hey, can you please open the water? She can't do that for you. Questions so far? No? Perfection. Mamish. Me shanatal. Can you bring me some hot water or let me just. Thank you. Yeah, just anything, just something hot. Me shanatal yadav shacharit. A person that has washed his hands already or her hands by shacharit. V'chazar v'naga b'yadav shel mi she'adayin lo natal yadav shacharit. And you went and touched somebody's hands that hasn't washed yet. You have to re-wash your hands. No bracha. Afim naga b'idei chaverav. Even if you touched someone else's hand when your hands were dry. So there are those that hold that this is a problem only when your hands or their hands are wet, still wet. But according to the Maran, he holds that even if your hands are dry, if you've already washed your hands in Netilat Yadayim and you touch someone else's hands that has not washed yet, you must wash again. Without a broche. Thank you. I already made a bracha. Huh? In fact, I did not make a shaykhon. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol nihya b'dvaro. For all those women that we all love so much, that always feel like, how come we don't get any mitzvot? And they all say it from love, of course. And we always have the complaints of women like, men get all the mitzvot in the world, and women, we don't get to do anything. So, Netilat Yadayim is a mitzvah for women as well. See? We're not like, what is the word?
Sexist.
Yeah. Because this is not one of those mitzvot that is time-bound. Women are patur from mitzvot that are time-bound. This is not a mitzvah that's time-bound. Right. Obviously, right. Thank you. Positive mitzvot that are time-bound. See, you're right.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
2 times in like 2 weeks. First, every time I say you're right, he says first time in 8 years. I don't even know where the 8 years for him started. He just says 8 years. And also the women say netilat yadayim before drying their hands. We all make a bracha before drying our hands. But if she does not make a bracha before drying her hands and she dried her hands already, she could go back and afterwards when she's doing Birkat HaShachar, she could do Netilat Yadayim right there with the rest of Birkat HaShachar. And she should try to hurry up and do Brikot HaShachar after she's done Netilat Yadayim. If she forgot to make the bracha, she should do her brachot of the morning as quickly as possible, so there's not a long hefsek there's no long separation between her washing her hands and doing her brachot. Yesh. A person has to teach their kids also to do Netilat Yadayim of Shacharit. And they should also make the bracha of Netilat Yadayim correctly, even children. Even though that there's no real chiyuv to wash children's hands with a keli, with a utensil. As we said before, the whole inyan of this keli by itself is a suffix whether you need it in the morning or not. We do it because we want to be sure that we make the bracha correctly. So some say that if you don't do it with a keli, with a utensil, with that cup, you can't make a bracha. Therefore, we always use a cup. But when it comes for children, part of it is teaching them, right? So even if they're not using a cup, you wash their hands under the sink, let them make the bracha. Okay. However, you should try to make them become used to the idea of washing their hands in the morning with a cup. There's these tiny netila cups also. There's the small ones. You put those in your bathrooms and your kids get used to it. Even if they wash in the bathroom, it's okay. As long as they get the chinuch idea, they get taught the idea of doing netilat yadayim after going to the bathroom, and no more, especially in the morning. So if they have their own cup, it makes it much easier to teach them to do netilat yadayim because it's their own cup. They like it. It's small, they're tiny, they're really cool. I wish I had those cups when I was growing up. Blue, green, red, all sorts of colors. The one at my house is blue and green. Yes, thank you. Gotta lock my doors.
Stop having a sword.
Okay. And he should do the 3-on-3 for children also, the skipping pattern. If there's no keli, if you don't have a utensil, wash it with the sink. And you should also make a bracha even on that netila, even though you didn't use a cup. Because we said before that if you're not using a cup, there's a safek whether you should make a bracha or not. But for children, it's okay because partially you're trying to teach them here. For chinuch, they could make the bracha. Teach them to make the bracha with Hashem's name. Because even though for grown-ups, if you don't have a utensil, you don't make bracha on netilat yadayim, because you're teaching the children, even if they don't have a keli, it's okay. Let them make the bracha. Even the girls, they should do netilat yadayim. Listen to this. It's a mitzvah to even wash the hands of children that are really young. 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Wash their hands netilat yadayim in the morning. Because that...
For bread, no?
For bread also it has the whole idea of chinuch, of course. Right? But in the mornings it's different. When you wake up, because of that ruach ra, according to Zohar, even children when they fall asleep, they have the same, type of situation like a grown-up. When you... Huh?
You do that? I did it.
Yes, I remember for my kids, the first opportunity. I remember my mother when she got the opportunity, she was like cleaning the baby, taking care of it. Took the baby to the sink and did netilat yadayim. It's like you see a child that's just born, literally a few days old. You do netilat yadayim for them. It's like I don't know if anybody else feels this, but I felt like you kind of feel the kedusha, even though babies, when they're born, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. But have you ever smelled a newborn baby? People love smelling a newborn baby. Everybody. I've never met anybody that doesn't say, "Oh, newborn baby, ew." Everybody just takes that. You put your nose in, on the head, and you just take a nice deep breath, So Chachamim say, I heard one of the Rabbanim actually say this clearly. He said, it's Reach Gan Eden. It's the smell of Gan Eden you're smelling. That's why you love it. Everybody loves it. Everyone enjoys it. It's your neshama. Why? That baby has been born recently. No averot, no sins, nothing. It literally just left the Shekhinah. It was just learning with angels, with malachim. So you're really smelling Gan Eden. And the reason you love that smell is because your neshama remembers. It's very familiar to you. So no matter what it smells like, it's always great. You take that, it's the smell of Gan Eden. So you get the opportunity to take a baby and smell, remember that. The reason you love that smell so much is because you literally are getting a part of a smell, a whiff of Gan Eden. Okay. When you wash even a child's hand that's very, very young, 2-year-old, 1-year-old, 3-year-old, it's a segula that they should grow in tahara, in purity. Be'yu gedolei kadosh. And they could become so that they could become great, holy people. V'chen katav maran achida. The Chida HaKadosh says, Ba'avodat HaKodesh, in his Sefer Avodat HaKodesh, that a person should be careful to wash hands of little children correctly. So therefore, you wash the hands also, you have to be careful. One of the reasons that you should, the Chida says, you should wash little children's hands because they're going to go around, touch food and stuff like that. When they wake up in the morning, they also have that ruach ra'ah. And when they touch fruits and food with those same hands, that transfers. Now, it doesn't make the food batel that you won't make a bit bracha on it or not, but it definitely does. There's certain certain what's the word for it? Like leftovers of tumah that go on that fruit. Therefore, the Rabbanim say that when a child, or even a grown-up, before Netilat Yadayim, they touch food or fruits, you should wash it before you eat it. Even if it's pre-washed already, you should still wash it because that ruach ra'ah transfers. And it's brought down in different sfarim because everybody knows we hold chamira sakanta me'isura. The dinim, the laws that are on sakana, on danger, are more chamur, they're more stringent than when it comes to isurim. A lot of things that, when it comes to sakana, in halakha we tend to be more stringent when it comes to things that might be harmful. Therefore, over here, when there's that impurity, when there's that leftover impurity that goes on the fruits, you have to be more machmir. That's what the Chida holds, and that's what a lot of Chachamim hold. So therefore, definitely it's smart to wash hands of little children so that they don't go around touching your food and touching, things that could process that kind of impurity. Someone had a question here?
Is that leftover impurity, I think I learned somewhere that is it also the case when if you're using a vessel to wash your hands and there are, let's say, like forks and knives?
Yes, we'll say that as well. Yes, true. Yes, we are going to, right here.
What did he just say?
We'll discuss it really soon. So he says, from what age should you start teaching kids or to start washing children's hands? In Shulchan Aruch HaGaon, Rabbi Zalman, it says, "Sha'nizhar mele'echol ma'achalim shelagu bahem ktanim belo netila." A person that's careful, that should be careful, that not to eat fruits or foods that have been touched by children without netilat yadayim miyom hamilah, from the day of brit milah, basically right after you're born. Whether it's a girl or a boy, it doesn't matter. Kadosh yomar lo umashma dera'ui litol afed yedei ketanek haktanim. So it seems from here that you should wash hands of even children that are very, very young, and this is brought down in the Achronim as well. So, but when does the chinuch part really start? When does the part start that you're actually trying to teach the child to learn a mitzvah? that's around 6 years old. That's when it actually starts. So like, if a child gets bothered or whatever it is, you don't have to, it's not like, the whole, don't have people running after the baby like, watch that kid's touching everything with his impure hands. Don't go crazy, okay? Children are still children. So if it's okay by them and if it doesn't bother them, try to like wash their hands and stuff, which shouldn't. But if it does, then when does the chinuch part of it actually start? When does the part that you actually have to teach as a parent, a child, certain rules, regulations, and laws, and Torah and mitzvot? That's from age 6. One more halacha. B'ezrat Hashem. En litol yadav shacharit al gabe karka. Person should not wash their hands, Netilat Yadayim. Once again, if you've somehow lost your mind and you've decided to go camping in the mountains. I'm kidding, I love camp. En litol yadav shacharit. If you're outside somewhere, do not, or even inside. I don't think anyone's going to try it inside. Don't wash your hands on the ground. Don't do Netilat Yadayim of the morning on the ground in a place that people are going to go and come and step in that water. Because again, that water that you're doing Netilat Yadayim is as impure as it gets. That's not a water that people should be stepping over and taking it from one place to another, transferring that impurity. Someone that makes a sukkah, let's say, in their balcony. You wake up in the morning and the balcony has a little, hole. They wash their hands right under on the floor and the water goes. But the water that stays in that balcony area, that's tameh water. That has to be washed. But if you did, and you're like, oops, ayos, why my hand? Netila Yadayim in the morning on the floor. Oops. What do you do now? You made a mistake. You washed your hands on the ground. What do? You take regular water, enough water to just get rid of that water. You wash it off. You should not wash your hands on utensils. You have your sink full of dishes, right? That you, as men, forgot to wash.
Yeah.
You like that? I have to show this to my wife, the video. Let's see, there's on. Only the morning netila. Yes, that's the one. You wake up in the morning and you realize, oh my gosh, so I forgot to wash these dishes that are still in the sink. Oy vey. Maybe I'll go to work a little late and surprise my wife and wash these dishes. So those dishes are still in the sink. You should not wash Netilat Yadayim on those dishes. If you do, make sure to wash it out. Rinse it very well. So, when you're actually washing it, you'll rinse it.
What about
sink?
not the morning one?
No, that's not as bad. The netila of morning time is, yeah. I mean, even that you should try not to, obviously. But it's not as bad. I'm not going to tell you after you come out of the bathroom, do Netilat Yadayim with dishes.
I usually go and I go to my kitchen and I never really look and see if there are any different things in the sink or anything. I just do Netilat Yadayim.
So that's why you're here tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
That works out.
So that now you say, oh, dishes. How about I wash them?
So can you go to the bathroom?
What if that's not?
Huh?
Can you go to the bathroom and then do netila and then come outside and do the bracha?
It-
And you don't have to wipe in them.
No, it's best to do this netila outside of the bathroom. We discussed that before. So now,
You can do it on the dishes.
You just do it on the dishes.
you do it on anything. You have to wash out the dishes. You have to rinse out the dishes so that water, even it says, even the sink itself, when you do Netilat Yadayim, you should try to rinse the sink so that if that water stays, you should make sure that water goes down. It shouldn't just linger there in the sink. It's impure water. ולכן אותם הישנים סוכה נותנים ידם על השחרית לתוך כלי לפעמים הכלי מתמלא במים. So let's say you're sleeping in the sukkah and you have a big bowl next to your bed that you want to do netilat yadayim when you wake up, and then you get up, you're taking this bowl and it starts like spilling all over the place. And it spills around. You have to be very careful and you have to wash out that part that has spilled water. Now, if it's inside the house, you don't have to take a hose and wash it out. You can just take a towel and dry it up. We're talking if it's outside, you're not going to dry it up with a towel. You need to wash it out because it's going to stay. But if it's on, let's say on mosaic or something, where you could just take a towel and clean up the water, you just clean up the water and you're done. Yeah? Claro? You have a question?
What if you go ahead and you do the Yadayim say over running water? Would that be bad? You said you can't do it on the ground, but then if it's like over a stream or something else, like say you are camping.
Yeah, in a stream, yeah, that's fine. It's running water. It's going. Yeah. So we are in the middle of the midah of having emunah, the importance of having bitachon and emunah in Hashem, believing in Hashem. ويدعو شربنا هكذا بعال شم توف. The Baal Shem Tov was speaking one time to his talmidim, to his students. They went into the desert, and he said to his student, listen to only the Baal Shem Tov. Right? He says to his students, he says, if you really believe 100%, this is how emunah works. If you believe that there will be cold water for you to drink in this desert, there will be. If you have enough emunah, if your emunah is strong enough, there will be cold water here for you. Even that. And it's funny. We're not talking about the Palm Springs desert where there's stores and stuff. We're talking about a desert, desolate, nothing around. They're walking around and he says, emunah works in this way. If you really have strong emunah, anything is possible. You could have cold water handed to you here. The Talmid said to himself, after all this inspirational talk of his Rebbe about emunah, and that Hashem will give him water. So he decided, I do have emunah. I really have faith that Hashem is going to give me cold water. Ma'im karim. What happens? Lo avru yadayim. Not that much time passes. And all of a sudden, right before him, there's a guy with 2 chugs of cold water. And, he says, may I have some water? He says, yeah. And he gives him water. So the Baal Shem Tov sees that this happened, obviously realizes that his Talmud really believed, like he's going to get water, and there's water. There's a guy carrying 2 chugs of cold water in the middle of the desert. So he asks the guy, if you don't mind, what are you doing here with 2 jugs of cold water? Like, even that much you wanted to know. The Baal Shem wanted to know, like, I was like, okay, fine, Hashem sent him 2 jugs of water, right? But this guy's not I don't know, maybe he's a malach, but he's... So he asked him, it's like, what are you doing here? Why are you here?
Why would the Baal Shem Tov ask? Why would he? That means he's doubting it.
No, not that he's doubting it. He wanted to know what brought about this situation where his Talmud was answered.
So there's still a story behind everything that happened?
Sure. Listen to this. So he says, I don't know. I'm a servant. All of a sudden, about 20 minutes ago, my master goes nuts. And he starts going, get out, go take 2 jugs of water, and walk around in the desert for half an hour, and then you can come back. What am I going to do? I have to listen. So I took 2 cold jugs of water, and I started circling like an idiot in the midbar. It's been 20 minutes. In 10 minutes, I'll go home. So the Baal Shem Tov looks at his Talmud, and he says, that's what emunah does. When you really, really want something, and you really have emunah that Hashem will give it, even if it means some guy going berserk all of a sudden, in order for that to happen, it'll happen for you. Some guy had to go crazy for 10 minutes to make his servant go take cold water in the middle of the desert to give it to you. So be it. If you have emunah, if Hashem needs to give it to you, it'll happen in that way. We have to understand, everything in this life is a tool in order for us to be able to cling on to Hashem. Everything that we're given in this life is in order for us to be able to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our loving Father. Everything. Otherwise, this world itself is meaningless. This world itself is fake. It's it's a dream. Right? We're waiting for the time when it comes, after 120 years, when we wake up. All in all, this world, the only realistic thing in this world is the mitzvot that we do. That's it. Those are the only things that we'll have. So if you really believe that, and you believe that in order for me to become strengthened, in order for me to continue my service to Hashem, this is what I need, and I really believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give it to me because I need it for the service of Hashem, then so be it. That will be. Because you truly believe your purpose in life is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu and you become closer to Him. Rav Dessler has a beautiful mashal about just about this. Rav Dessler says, there was a guy, he lived in the jungle. You know, he had never been to a city. He had never been exposed to technology. He didn't know nothing about nothing. Very, very a simpleton, right? He's walking around alongside the beach, and he hears somebody screaming out for help. Help, help. And this guy looks to the side, and he sees someone's drowning in the ocean, and he knows how to swim, right? He lived in the jungle all his life. He jumps into the ocean, swims to the guy, brings him to shore. And the guy can't stop thanking him. Oh my God, where did you come from? You're an angel. You saved my life. He says, no problem. You know, this is what I do. This is who I am. You know, walks away. A few weeks later, now, he didn't know that he had just saved the king's life. And the guy's living in the jungle his whole life. He doesn't even know who the king is, right? He had just saved the king's life. A few weeks later, soldiers come, and they find him in the jungle, and they go, the king wants to speak to you. He says, the king wants to speak to me. He says, yeah, the king wants to speak to you. He says, orale, let's go. Let's do it. So they go to the palace of the king. They get to the palace, and the king says, I want you to give him 3 sacks, empty sacks, and I want you to take him to my treasury. He can take as much gold, jewels, and precious stones as he wants. As much as he can, fill in these 3 sacks. It's his to take. They come and tell him, they give him 3 empty sacks, and they go, listen, the king wants you to go into his treasury, and you could carry with you as much gold, silver, and stuff that you want. Now this guy didn't really understand their modern language. He didn't really get what they're saying. He thought they're trying to make him work. He goes, I don't understand. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I was just living my life, chilling. In my jungle, under my trees. Now I have to carry sacks with me. They put him in this treasury. Oh, how does he know what gold and jewels are? He's been in the jungle for all his life. So he's walking around with these sacks, and they go, okay, you got, a couple of hours, fill up your sacks. When the time's up, time's up. He goes, okay, yeah. Yes. Yes, thank you. Right? Yes, how about you, thank you. Right? And he takes the sacks, and he walks into this treasury. Then he looks back, and he sees these soldiers not even watching him. He goes, I got a couple of hours. I'm going to start working for these guys. I'm going to carry all these heavy sacks. Am I crazy? So he starts walking around and brushing here, taking a little jewel here, putting it in the sack, like I'm working, Then he sees no one's really watching him. He gets a little tired. He takes a little corner, takes a little nap. He wakes up again. He goes, I love this. This is the perfect job. They're not even watching me work over here. He takes a little piece of gold there, a cup there. He fills up the 3 sacks, but he fills it all of them on the bottom so that they don't look completely empty. Time's up, they come, and they tell him, you're done. He says, he looks around and goes, thank you very much, you are good, thank you. And they go, all right, you're good to go. And the king says, thank you, I've done my part to, pay him back. And he leaves. Leaves with these 3 sacks, and he's thinking to himself, pat on the back. They thought they're going to get me to fill up these sacks of kilos and kilos of junk, carrying it out for them, recycle it for them. You think I'm crazy? I'm from the jungle. You can't fool me, right? So he goes, sits with his friend. He goes, I got to tell you something that happened. These guys thought they're going to get work out of me. They put me in their junkyard, and they had me fill up these sacks. And they thought I'm going to fill all of it up. Then no one was even watching me, so I just filled it out. Put a few things in here. His friend goes, let me see what you got. Now his friend had been to the city. He knew things about gold and jewels. He looks inside the sack and he goes, are you out of your mind? Do you know what you have in the sack? Just what you have with the wasted amount of time that you had, just the amount that you've collected so far could last you a lifetime. Imagine if you had filled up your sacks. Are you crazy? Do you know what opportunity you had? These sacks were going to be enough for 10 generations to come if you hadn't filled it up. You wasted the entire time you had in the treasury. Now he sits down and he thinks to himself, oh wow, did I lose out? What happens? We come in this life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us these 3 sacks. Go into my treasury. But in this treasury, there's a lot of things that will take our minds off of everything, right? But we lose that connection kind of to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the emunah, that I'm here, all the obstacles, all the things that happen in the middle of it, regardless, it's not real. What really matters is these 3 sacks. Forget about the sleep, forget about that, this problem, that problem. Right now I have an opportunity to fill up these sacks. But what do? Like, come on, how much more work can I do? I believe in you. Why? But why did that happen? Why did that happen? I was keeping the mitzvot. Why did you have to like make me stumble over here? As if like we're doing God a favor. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, are you crazy? I've given you the sacks. It's yours. It's yours to keep. But we're constantly acting like, how much more? I can't eat that either. How much more do you want from me? I can't do this on Shabbat either. How much more? The sacks are getting heavy. But the angels are saying, are you crazy? The heavier the sack gets, the better outcome. Make it heavier. More mitzvot. More mitzvot. It gets difficult. But is that difficulty bad? When those sacks get heavy, would you turn to that guy and go, are you mad? Why are you making it so heavy? You're going to be sweating back home. If he really knew, it would be like, yeah, the heavier it is, I won't care. Believe me. I'll rest on the way. I don't care how heavy it gets. That's how life is. So we believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that everything happens is in order for us to get closer to that final goal, to be able to fill up those sacks. So take those as opportunities. Don't take them as restrictions and hardships. Look at it. We have to look at everything that happens as an opportunity. That's what emunah is. Emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu means everything in my life is an opportunity. It's another diamond in my sack. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.